Troops neutralize course of terrorists, rescue 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. NLC rules out meeting with federal government on eve of nationwide actions. Vandals destroy Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line. On the foreign scene, cholera vaccine stocks run out as Africa battles outbreaks. Hello again and welcome to the Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. We begin with the security update where troops of the Joint Task Force Northwest Operation Hadarindaji have neutralized an unspecified number of terrorists and rescued 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara state. According to a statement by spokesperson for OPAD, Lieutenant Suleiman Omale, the victims were rescued and hurt during their continuous clearance operation at the terrorist enclaves at Bayan Ruwa Axis, which is presumed to be a crossing point for terrorists in the state. Lieutenant Omale reports that the superior fighting power of the troops during gun duel with the terrorists forced them to flee in disarray, abandoning their captors. He added that the troops also destroyed the kidnappers' enclaves and dominated the area with aggressive and confidence-building patrols within the general area. According to the statement, all rescued victims have been handed over to the appropriate authorities to reunite them with their respective families. 2 kidnappers have reported and presented themselves before the leaders of hunters in Taraba State. The repented kidnappers, Gaya Alhaji Abdu and Seyo Alhaji Amadu, both in their 20s, said in separate interviews that they decided on their own to stop kidnapping and repent. Gaya said he participated in 2 kidnappings and got 200,000 naira after the victims paid 5 million naira ransom each. Gaya stated that he joined the gang of kidnappers when he learned that he was on the wanted list of suspected kidnappers. According to him, at the time his name was put on the wanted list, he had not committed any crime, let alone kidnapping, noting that he decided to run from his father's house because he feared that once he was captured, he will be killed. Seyo Alhaji Amadu, on his part, said he joined the kidnapping gang on his own against his parents' advice, adding that he participated in several kidnap operations before deciding to quit. Meanwhile, the leadership of the Hunters Association has encouraged bandits and kidnappers to repent and denounce their crimes. More on security matters. The Plateau State Police Command has paraded one of the suspected kidnappers of 2 Reverend Fathers of St. Vincent de Paul Parish, Faya District of Bangshin local government area of the state. The kidnapped Reverend Fathers, Reverend Kenneth M. Kanwa and Jude Mwachuku, were kidnapped on February 1 and taken to an unknown location, throwing the local government into confusion. Adam Musa files in this report.
The suspect, Christopher Yero, was paraded alongside other suspects who were arrested for culpable homicide, kidnapping as well as robbery among others. The State Commissioner of Police, Hassan Steve, while parading the suspect, explained how the suspected kidnapper was arrested in Ogun State.
Upon the receipt of the report, the Commissioner of Police Plateau State directed the OC at the kidnapping unit just to make a local circulation to all police media platforms, which led to the arrest of one of the suspects, Christopher Yaro, aka Munaka, in far away Ogun State, where he has escaped to. The suspect confessed to being part of the kidnap gang that kidnapped the 2 Reverend Fathers in Pashin local government area. Investigation is ongoing to arrest the other 2 suspects at large. The suspect will soon be charged to court. That is the one that has been arrested at Ogun State will soon be charged to court.
The suspected kidnapper, while commenting on his arrest, explains his involvement in the kidnapping of the priest.
Wani mutum ne a wurin mu sunan shi Alhaji Chu. So shi yana tafiyan Catholic Church, ni kuma na tafiyan Kokin Church. Ni da nazo sai
there is a man called Alhaji Chur who gives loans to people in the community. One day, I went to his house and requested for a loan to take my son to the hospital. Surprisingly, he came to my house in the morning and said he had brought 5 Fulanis from Bauchi State and that 5 of us from the village will join them. From what he told me, I understood that I would make the list of those who would kidnap the Reverend Fathers. Later, I heard that people were looking for me in the area. That is why I fled to Ogun State, where I was arrested. While commenting on the general security of the state, the new police commissioner said, on assumption of office, he took time to painstakingly study the predominant security challenges in the state, adding that they will do everything possible to secure lives and properties in the state. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Just a few days after Governor Rada provided an interview regarding the strides made in combating banditry in Katsina State, a tragic incident unfolded in Wurma village, situated in the Kurufi local government area. During this appalling attack, a primary healthcare facility was razed to the ground, along with a mobile police outpost and their patrol vehicle. Additionally, more than 10 houses were obliterated, including food storage units. Adding to the gravity of the situation, over a dozen women and children fell victim to abduction by the bandits. Jamil Mabai, who visited Wurma in the early hours of Tuesday, sent in this report.
Close to the vibrant city of Katsina, the community of Wurma now lies in ruins. It once lively streets silenced by the brutality of banditry. Under the cover of darkness, flames engulf their homes and livelihoods, stripping away not just buildings, but also their sense of safety and stability. We couldn't remove our furniture. I ran away through the fence and hid in the forest. I watched as they set my house ablaze. I don't have anywhere to stay and I don't have money to rent a house. I don't have money to buy food for my family. The food is not even available to buy. They burnt all the items I bought for my daughter's wedding. Mikailu stands as a solitary figure, bearing the burden of unspeakable pain. His family, the cornerstone of his existence, torn from him by the merciless hands of the bandits amidst the chaos. My wife was about to cook dinner when they came and took my children without eating anything. They took 7 people in this room. The agony etched into his features reflects the profound sorrow shared by an entire shattered community. For 2 organizing hours, the outnumbered security personnel fought to protect their community. The wounds inflicted by this attack cut deep. Within days, the nearby village of Lambo was plunged into a similar nightmare, with 8 precious lives lost and nothing but smoldering remnants left behind as a haunting testament to their vulnerability. While the government proclaimed success in a battle against unseen foe, for the residents of Katsina, the struggle for safety persists. Jamil Mobay, Trust TV, Katsina.
Quite a sad one there in Wurma village. And now away from that and now to labor matters. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress says it will no longer honor any invitation from the federal government to attend any night meeting ahead of any of its declared nationwide mass actions, saying it was a strategy to hoodwink them. It explained that putting an end to such invitations was imperative due to the perception of many Nigerians that the organized labor would be discussing other things with the government officials other than the crux of the matter at hand. President of NLC, Joe Ajaero, who disclosed this while fielding questions from journalists during a press conference at the Labour House, Abuja, on Wednesday, maintained that the leadership of NLC would only attend meetings with the government officials when actions have not been declared. Ajaero, who was flanked by renowned activist Femi Aborisade and other Labour leaders, also alleged that government officials had at different occasions tried to employ divide-and-rule tactics to subvert the NLC, including a counter-protest on Tuesday. The NLC president also raised an alarm that the headquarters of the Congress, as well as 8 state offices nationwide, have been militarized by the federal government, insisting that members of the Congress won't be cowed by any threat. On Wednesday, February 28, the transmission company of Nigeria reported that vandals had caused significant damage to Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line. Ndidi Mba, the general manager, issued a statement confirming the incident, stating that it occurred at 11:32 p.m. on February 26. According to the statement, the transmission company of Nigeria hereby states that Tower 70 along its 330 kV Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line has been vandalized, with the tower standing precariously on the ground. This event transpired on February 26, 2024 at approximately 11:32 p.m. Following the incident, the Gwagwalda-Katampe transmission line experienced a trip at the Gwagwalda transmission substation. Despite efforts by TCN operators to restore functionality through trial reclosure, the attempts were unsuccessful, necessitating a physical patrol of the line. And on to the National Assembly. The chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Hydrological Services and Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, Pascal Agbodike, has pledged the committee's commitment to the development of the commission's host communities. Agbodike, who represents Ihiala Federal Constituency of Anambra State, made the pledge when the managing director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Sadiq Yawa, appeared before the committee on Tuesday. He said just like host communities of the Niger Delta Development Commission were getting some benefits, Hyperdeck communities should get the same treatment. Agbodike promised that the committee would help address the funding challenge facing the agency. Earlier, the managing director of Hyperdeck, Abubakar Sadiq Yawa, said they were facing several challenges, including funding, which hampered the commission from carrying out its mandate.
Since the inauguration of this house, we took time to listen to host communities, the 10 states that members of Hyperdeck. Most of our members have toured around those states and reported back to this honorable committee about what the works that are going on from Hyperdeck in those states. Going by the law that established Hyperdeck, there are many things the agency should be doing to see to the welfare of those communities in the member states.
If you see the number of homes, if you see the number of farmlands we lose along River Benue, from Taraba down to Benue, down to Nasarawa State, you will pity with the communities. This also is same situation with the River Niger. This is some situation with River Kaduna, Mr. Chairman, and any other community that is going to be hydro. Now, if we say those communities, they are even suffering more because of the eco challenge of those communities, Mr. Chairman. So these are some of the issues we want your committee to address. We are not saying it should come to hyperden. We have enough to handle if we have enough resources to do that. But what is most important is, please look at those communities. They are now relying on whatever these companies decide to give them.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up in part 2. We'll take a look at how age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. More news when we return. Just stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Troops neutralize course of terrorists, rescue 8 kidnapped victims in Zamfara. NLC rules out meeting with federal government on eve of nationwide actions. And now to more stories. Amidst widespread public concern regarding inadequate remuneration for formal sector workers, many Nigerians find themselves struggling to make ends meet on wages significantly below the minimum wage. In the pursuit of a dignified livelihood, 54-year-old Adamu Aliyu defies age barriers by accepting a job as a laborer in a truck garage, determined to provide sustenance for himself and his family. Ibrahim Ismail has details of this story.
Despite the sweltering heat in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, 54-year-old Adamu perseveres through hard labor to earn money for himself and his family. Despite his age, Adamu only receives 500 naira for his contribution to a group effort in loading a truck with gravel. Nevertheless, he persists in managing these meager resources to ensure survival. This job has been a lifesaver for me. I managed to finance my wedding with the earnings and have been able to provide for my child. Despite the physical strain, I don't feel the pain as much. Once I take a shower after work, I feel rejuvenated. Adamu, who is deeply troubled by the unemployment crisis in the country, firmly believes that young Nigerians have the potential to become self-employed by exploring all available job opportunities. There were days when I was idle due to the lack of job opportunities. But now, when the work is available, I load 3 or 2 trucks daily. I advise everyone to be dedicated to their work. I don't rely solely on this job. I used to sell vegetables before returning to this job. The management of the truck garage situated along the Abuja-Kefi Road has stated that the facility provides employment for approximately 300 Nigerians in various capacities. We hustle every day to ensure there is food on the table. Each morning, we manage to provide for our families by the grace of God. However, we lack excavators, loaders, and additional trucks essential for our work. We call on the government to support us by providing these necessary machines. 54-year-old Adamu Abubakar remains optimistic that his journey will serve as an inspiration to both the younger generation and middle-aged Nigerians, encouraging them to strive for self-improvement and work diligently to enhance their livelihoods. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim Ismail, for that beautiful story. In our fast-evolving world, many traditional practices are getting overshadowed, replaced, or extinct. But amidst the hustle and bustle of progress, one ancient craft stands strong, palm leaf touching. In Nigeria, particularly in Okegun community of Odofin, situated in the Bejuleke area of Lagos State, this age-old tradition continues to support numerous families, serving as a crucial means of livelihood. Victoria Tokolo shed light into these enduring tradition conversing with locals who depend on palm touching to make ends meet for themselves and their families.
Thatching, an effective roofing method utilizing palm branches, has endured through generations. Its simple yet effective technique involves laying vegetation to redirect water away from roof's interior. Surprisingly, in today's modern era, people still rely on the versatility of palm branches for their livelihood, notably in local establishments and bars. In Nigeria, particularly in Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State, individuals practice the craft of palm thatching to support themselves and their families financially, highlighting the enduring relevance of these traditional skills.
We get this thing from palm tree for inside bush. So we sold one 300 naira.
Make up with taxes and when we have no business. So this is the job that we have. We are doing to meet up life everything. And people came to buy it, some of them. Sometimes we have customers, some of the time we have no customers. And we sold a dozen, 2,000 naira.
We dey use am to do this business. We use am, we dey do am for this taxes. We dey sell am. We go cut am for this. So they do am to sell am. People dey come buy am 300 naira for per one. They sell am.
Palm tree thatching has become a common sight in the bars of Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State. Beyond its role as a traditional roofing material, it serves as a vital source of employment and income, especially given the current economic conditions in Nigeria. In a time where job opportunities are scarce, the use of palm tree thatch underscores the resilience and adaptability of local communities, providing individuals with the means to support themselves amidst economic challenges.
In business, a newly released report by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics reveals that the price of the liquefied petroleum gas, otherwise known as cooking gas, increased by 12% from 4,589 naira in 1 year. The report, titled Liquefied Petroleum Gas Price Watch for January 2024, said while the price of a 5 kg cooking gas went from 4,589 naira in January 2023, the average retail price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder increased by 3.5% on a month-on-month basis, from 4,963 naira recorded in December 2023 to 5,139 naira in January 2024. On state profile analysis, Nasara recorded the highest average price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder of cooking gas with 5,790 naira, followed by Jigawa with 5,682 naira and Gombe with 5,660 naira. On the other hand, Kaduna recorded the lowest price with 4,150 naira, followed by Ogun and Osun with 4,751 naira and 4,763 naira respectively. In addition, analyses by zone showed that the Northeast recorded the highest average retail price for refilling a 5 kg cylinder with 5,296 naira, followed by the North Central with 5,240 naira, while the Southwest recorded the lowest with 4,805 naira. The report comes on the heels of rising costs of living across the country that saw inflation rise by 29.9% in January. We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Africa is grappling with a healthcare challenge that will exacerbate existing attempts to contain cholera outbreaks on the continent. The vaccine shortage comes as Southern Africa battles a protracted cholera outbreak which has killed 700 people in Zambia alone. Medical charity Doctors Without Borders said that the shortage has affected its team trying to respond to outbreaks in more than 16 countries. Public health experts have urged manufacturers to speed up the production of the oral vaccine. All drugs currently in production have already been booked. In January, Zambia rolled out a UNICEF-backed campaign to vaccinate 1.5 million people against cholera. The outbreak, which started in 2023, has now spread to all regions of the country, forcing authorities to convert a stadium into a treatment center and to delay the reopening of schools. According to Save the Children, cholera cases increased fourfold in Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique from 2022 to 2023. The number of infections rose from 26,250 to over 95,300, with more than 1,600 deaths in 3 nations, making it one of the worst cholera epidemics in decades. And finally, in sports news, Super Eagles goalkeeper Stanley Nwabali was accorded a heroic welcome by Chippa United fans on his arrival in South Africa on Tuesday. The fans took to the Port Elizabeth Airport in large numbers to show their love for the shot stopper. Chippa United also announced Nwabali's arrival with a short message on the official X handle. The 27-year-old was one of the top performers for Nigeria at the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. The goalie conceded 4 times in 7 appearances. The former Enyimba goalkeeper received cash gifts, a national honor, and was made a chief in his hometown after the competition. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.